A pair of offensive tweets had the superintendent of the state's largest school district apologizing earlier this week.
I did what I did, and it was inappropriate. I'm a better person than that.
But in the end, it was not enough. After a meeting with upset school board members this morning, APS Superintendent Winston Brooks has agreed to a suspension, 3 days of unpaid leave. School board members say Brooks set a bad example for the district he leads.
This after a pair of tweets Tuesday night comparing Education Secretary designate Hannah Scandera to livestock. It was the second time in less than a month Brooks has taken heat for the use of his Twitter account. Despite today's punishment, some of his critics are saying the school board didn't go far enough. News 13's Gabrielle Burkhart is live at APS headquarters with more.
Jessica, a local business leader, says the superintendent's tweets are an example of bullying. He joins a group of Republican lawmakers who say APS needs a new boss.
We do feel like this is a prime example of bullying.
Strong words from New Mexico Business Roundtable CEO Larry Langley, criticizing tweets from Superintendent Winston Brooks Tuesday, comparing State Education Secretary designate Hannah Scandera to livestock, even using the words moo moo, oink oink. Tweets that had the APS school board deciding after a closed-door meeting this morning to suspend Brooks for 3 days starting Monday. Langley says it's not enough.
I think if the superintendent wanted to show true leadership, he would step down on his own. I think that would be an appropriate measure.
A group of state lawmakers agree. Late this afternoon, about a dozen Republican representatives called the superintendent's tweets another instance of his bullying and demeaning conduct towards women. They're also calling on Brooks to resign, but APS officials told us why they disagree.
Under his direction, over the last 5 or 6 years, the APS graduation rate has reached 70%. The district's best showing in this vital statistic since those numbers have been recorded.
For now, Brooks's Twitter account has been disabled as APS works on its social networking policy. Brooks wasn't available for comment following the announcement of his punishment. An APS spokesperson acknowledged the district's embarrassment.
We're sorry it happened. Obviously, it's been a miserable day for everyone. We feel very bad for Secretary-designate Scandera, the Superintendent Maryland. This is an unfortunate series of events, one we acknowledge should have never happened and won't happen again.
Superintendent Brooks and the Albuquerque Public Schools have much work to do to regain the confidence of this community.
Now, Business Roundtable CEO Larry Langley says he's not alone in calling for Brooks's resignation. He says he's heard from at least 100 others today who agree. Now, APS Chief Operations Officer Brad Winter will be filling in for Brooks during the 3-day suspension. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Gabrielle. The governor's office today called the superintendent's recent actions reprehensible. In response to the superintendent's suspension, a spokesperson for the state's public education department said, in part, "We believe the students and parents of Albuquerque should decide if today's action is acceptable."